And so I'm so privileged and honored to be able to deliver this 2025 State of the County address. And we're going to talk about the progress made. We're going to talk about some challenges, because we do have some challenges, but I also share with you some steps on how to overcome them. Okay, but I got to tell you, best start ever. Best start ever. I got it right? You heard it. Best start ever. Okay, and it is true. The opposition said that, this new administration, they're not going to get off the ground running. Oh my goodness, we've done so much in 4 months, more than some administrations have done in 4 years. Okay, we're not running, you guys. We're flying. Yes, we're flying, guys. Come on now. Sorry, that's one of my favorite tracks, so I gotta play them twice. No, and it's like the little things, right? That's what we've done in the last. It's just the little things. Like, let me just share, like Kawamoto swimming pool. So that pool was out for a year before we started, and there was like, hey, how are we going to fix them? So how are we going to fix them? We just bring everybody together. What's the problem? Create some action steps and just stay on them. And most recently, never have hot water, right? People was freezing. I can imagine coming out of the shower, and going into something that's super cold. So that was like right off the bat, right? Second week on the job, Kuwaba. Hey, get 14 homeless families. What are we going to do? Hey, let's bring our homeless task force together. Find housing for them with the nonprofits. Right? Country Club closed down. Before they closed down, I said, HOA, let us find homes for 21 of those families. And we did that too. This is second, third week already. Okay, but not just that. We know we had some major settlements. The big one was Kealakea wastewater. I'm glad that settled. But also settling with our county workers. Settling with our county workers. Right? Shopo, Fire, UPW, HGA, that was lingering. I was like, hey, before the state of the county, we got to settle so I can put them up on the slide. And we did that. But also, we know we get wastewater challenges, Keaukaha, right? So we immediately addressed that by an emergency proclamation. And thank you, Governor's office, for acknowledging it. So if something go wrong, we can respond immediately. And we have a plan, and that's already in place. Okay, but not just that. We also had to go to Kohala because they were saying, hey, our lights, 4 years, no more lights. For 4 years, no more lights. Took us 4 weeks to get it. Because, right? And then, hey, you cannot play baseball in the dark. They're so happy with their lights. They got their pool, okay? And we paving roads all over the place. We did more paving in 4 months than I think anybody's done in a year. Mr. Azevedo. But we're also paving places that has really been neglected. Like, take it down to Old Days in Kona. So Maka'eo Pavilion, that area hasn't had paving for potholes, everything. Kona is so happy now. West Hawaii, South and East and the West Side and the North is so happy because now we get geographic balance. They see it, right? Because we tend to be East Hawaii centric. And we're moving and we're spreading the love, okay? So this is a project just completed, I'd say, right at the edge of completion. That's parking at the South Park, Clarence Lum 1 Park. Football games, baseball games, people was parking on other people's yards, in their driveways. Hey, the tow companies was making a killing, okay? We added about 100 stalls right there. And that's, again, not even in the 4 months. That was 10 years in the making. See what I mean? Come on now. We added backstops in Waimea, benches in Waimea. This bench project, you ask him, 10 years in the making. When Kinoi left the administration, he wanted to put in these benches for Kupuna who was walking around in Waimea. Once in a while, they're tired, they're like, sit down. No place for sit. So somebody said, the creative idea, let's create benches with a private-public partnership. Oh, right on. We got all our private guys. They say yes. Carpenters, everything. Stall. Corp counsel don't like take said, hey, you don't like take liability, because if something happened. So we got in. Bill's an attorney. I said, Bill, this benches, not bridges, okay? I don't think anything gonna happen. He said, Kimo, you're absolutely correct. Let's get those benches completed. And sure enough, done, okay? We are an administration of yes. We say yes, you can. right? We say yes first. If it's no, I say that impossible, we address immediately. The difficult takes us a little bit longer, but it all gets done sooner or later, right? So we're not power yet. So this Saturday, we're going back to Ali'i Drive. I don't know, you guys drive down Palani, it's a two-way. Well, businesses asking for parking. So I thought our administration came up with a creative idea. They said, how about we make them one way? So that the other way, parking all by the businesses. We just added 60 parking stalls, just by a thought. Thank you very much. And so this Saturday we present the charrette, and hopefully everybody agrees to it, which we already did some pre-work, and 100% said that's a great idea. But not power yet. 2 weeks, we're going to go up to the call center, and we're going to bless that baby. Right? And it's like the prior administration was struggling to get to the touchdown, struggling to get to the end zone. Sometimes it's not a matter how you start, matter how you finish. So we got to finish. So it's opening pretty soon. Okay? I talking within the next month or so. The temporary fire station, so we had Central Fire Station, cement was falling from the ceiling, 600 pounds. Right? County council was worried. I was reading the paper. I said, if we get elected and we make this happen, that's one of the first things we got to do, get those firefighters out of that building. So we had a negotiation with the Yamada building, somehow was stalled. Some kind of excuse like, the fire alarm wasn't working. You're in one fire station. Okay, I don't think they're going to put an alarm if something's happening. I think they're just going to solve the problem. They might bypass that step, let me say. Okay? Let's just move already. Time is of essence in this situation. What's more worse, the cement falling? So we moved on that, and we're ready for make that blessing as well. These are things that are just happening just cause. Right? Then we go back to had a container with playground equipment inside in Waikoloa for like 3 years. We went there, and now we did our part, and now the community can go take that out, because the deal was we fix them up, you put them together. Perfect. Now we're waiting for them to put them together. They was calling us. How come we're taking so long? Now we're calling them. How come you're taking so long? And I also like to share with you that, one concern was public safety. Well, we had our storm, and we weathered it well. Thank you, Talmadge. Right? We all meet up at the EOC, and we was able to alleviate some of the concerns by just good communication. And so we do have a very strong public safety core. And I think the core of all of our, responsibilities is public safety. So our chief, big round of applause for our chief, Kazuo Todd, everybody. Thank you, chief. Hey, we got four new ambulances. 4 new ambulances 2 weeks ago. We're working on a brand new helicopter ambulance. This is one helicopter, like one ambulance is combined. It's unbelievable. It's like the only one in the state. Okay, so that's coming our way with the gracious support of the Sarah Foundation. Thank you so much. And all the hard work. Right? So our island's big. You get an accident in Puna or, South Kona. I mean, we can send a helicopter, but that helicopter going to bring the patient back, then they got to go to the airport, and then no. They talk about the golden hour. We only get 1 hour most times to save somebody's life. So we got this helicopter that can pick the person up, right, and take them, because it's a double engine, can take them to Queens Hospital and land on top of the roof, and emergency care can be provided immediately. This helicopter can go inter-island. Thank you. Okay? Wow. That's saving lives right there. So topping off our public safety, we made some news, but I don't care about that. But hey, so fire mitigation is always a concern. And we had 14 talk stories scheduled. We already finished 7. So every place we go, they're like, no, fire hydrants, does it work? You got to check with the homeowners association. We can check too, but it's a community effort. How about fire breaks? Can help with that. How about the reservoir? Get water. Well, got to check. How about dip tanks? Work. Well, how about the fire alarm? Here you go. Yeah, okay. How about then we ask the homeowner, how about your house? Did you do your home assessment? Trees next to the house, that's not good. Right? So there's a checklist. So let's all do it together. And that's how we're going to protect our community on the fire side. I'm equally proud of our police department, who keep us safe every single day. Big round of applause for Chief Moskowitz. He's around. Our recent incident, and we have situations here like every other county, but I'm so proud of our police department. They come together, especially in times of need. Thank you, police. I gotta share with you our civil defense, my opinion, best in the nation. Best in the nation, headed up by Director Talmadge Magno. Big round of applause. Talmadge, thank you. Just so you know, when there's an issue, it can be wind, rain, volcano, tsunami, fire, we all report to the EOC. Not one or two, all departments and our partners. I give a little intro, Talmadge takes the lead. And we working together. And I've witnessed that, and it was amazing. Thank you so much. We also have Animal Control, Matt Reynolds. Animal Control, Public Safety. We also get Liquor Control. Okay, Liquor Control. Where's our guy? Gerald Takasi here. Gerald, thank you. I see that as public safety, right? And also, last but not least, on the public safety side, our dear prosecutor, Keldon Walgen. Keldon, thank you. So while I'm at it, I'm also introduce our staff. So we are broken up into pods. That's public safety. We also have an awesome building infrastructure pod, if you will. Okay, headed up by, our planning director right now is defending his budget, Jeff Darrow. Okay, he's defending his budget right now. But give it up for Neil Azevedo, our acting director for public works, everybody. Thank you, Neil. All right. And then we have our environmental management. It's a tough department. They got to handle wastewater. They got to handle the landfills. Give it up for Wes Sigawa. Where are you, Wes? Thank you, Wes. And then, water everywhere. You guys remember that? No. Let's give it up for our water department, Keith Okamoto, everybody. So that's building, right? And then we get departments that provide services. Parks and Recreation. That's some big department. Okay, a lot of our funds go to that department because we need recreation. Our director over there, Clayton Hanma and Melissa, thank you. Parks and Recreation. Yes, and then we get housing, and she's defending her budget too. And transportation, we got Zach over here acting. Thank you, Zach. Yes. And then we have departments that help other departments, like my managing director, Bill Brahante, and my deputy managing director. Where are you, Merrick Nishimoto? Merrick, thank you. Right? They help other departments. And then I have a bunch of EAs, too much to name, but can we give them a big round of applause? Thank you. And of course, we have our HR. Summer, where are you? Thank you, HR. They help with our hiring. We got our economic development, Benson Medina. Thank you, Benson. We got our environmental sustainability, Laura Acasio. Thank you, Laura. And then we got our IT, because, IT, Corey. Thank you, Corey Stone. And we cannot forget our finance department, Diane Nakagawa, who's presenting the budget. So a big round of applause for her too. So speaking of the budget real quick, so we have a budget that is basically equal to our revenues. This time it's $937 million. Okay, and it's only 1.8% greater than last year's budget. So I asked Diane, I said, some small at an increase, usually 5%, 6%. She said, no, it's the smallest in 5 years. I said, I think it's the smallest increase ever. Did you check beyond 5 years? She said, not yet, but I think you're right. So we're gonna have to tighten up a little bit. Okay, it's not a big increase from last year, right? Most of these funds coming from taxes, 660 million straight from taxes, and 80% is property taxes. Okay, there's some other taxes. 20% is from GET and TAT and fuel tax. Property taxes, okay? And then there's grants, right? So I said, oh no, grants, what's up with the federal government? They might cut all our close to $100 million grants. So I said, could you look into that? She said, no, not too bad, 56% only from the feds. And that 56%, how much is housing? About 45%. I said, they cannot cut our Section 8. No way, that would be too mean. But, they've been kind of mean right now, so who knows? But we're ready for that. We're ready for that. Okay, so basically, you add all this up, you come to $937 million. But, of course, we get expenditures. Okay, half of that is salary and wages, pays for our salary and wages. But if you break them up by topics, public safety, again, they say, hey, if you check your value system, just look at how you spend the money. So we spend them on public safety, over $230 million. That's the biggest chunk of change right there. Civil defense, fire, police, animal control, you name it. Everything to protect our public, that money goes there. Okay, and then there's other expenditures, pension, retirement. Okay, we make sure that that's good for you folks. You earned it, right? Government, basic services, parks and recreation and such. Okay, so we've basically, the county is kind of like a nonprofit. You cannot show profit, and you cannot be in the red. So you got to balance that baby perfect. In fact, by law, you got to balance them. So what do we have left to spend then? Well, what are our challenges? Okay, the biggest challenge right now we face is this wastewater obligation. This wastewater obligation it keeps me up at night. Okay, you see the yellow? That's like every year we spend about $50 million on projects. Can go wastewater, parks. Well, here comes our wastewater project. That's red, that's Keukaha. The neglect over 30 years, right? So now we got to spend $337 million in fixing that. And we just signed the contract and that's ready to go. But that's bonds. This is like borrowing. This is like a big loan. So, right, because we don't have the money. You just saw it. It all just evened out. So we got to go get bonds. Okay, and then the blue is our other wastewater commitments. Kealakehe wastewater. Pahala and Alehu wastewater. Okay, Pepekio Paipeko wastewater. And it's not even talking about the transition from cesspool to septic. So we're going to need federal help. Okay, I don't know how to put them in a nice paper or whatever, but we'll surely get it to the feds to help us with this. Because we cannot do it ourselves, because right now we're borrowing. And as you can see, our debt service is about $80 million a year. We pay our bills. $80 million got to go to our bills. Some of it is the loans that we're borrowing for 20 years. So when you borrow from the investors, they give you 20 years for paying back. So we're currently paying back from Harry Kim's second term, 20 years. And somebody going to be paying back our 20 years. So that's how it all plays out. But the debt service go too much. 80 mil is okay. Because if you can keep it under 10% of your budget, that's fiscally sound. So right now, we're still doing good, actually. So we're going to get revenues of $1 billion. We're still under 100 million in bills, which is pretty good. Okay, so not too bad. So we're keeping an eye on that. All right. But we do have a fund balance from positions that not filled. So you get positions that not filled. Hey, we got about $20 million. So let's work it. Because what I told the budget today, the county council, I said, it's not so much how much money we make, it's how hard we work. Because our workforce, they're inspired. They're super inspired. Look how much we've done in 4 months with zero budget. Well, the pavement costs money, but I'm talking labor, right? Because we inspired. People wondering if we had extra grants. Like, Kimo, you got all these extra grants. No, we never get it. How come everything's getting done all of a sudden? How you got the lights on? How you got roads paved? How you fixed the pool? How you made the benches? I said, there's just an inspired workforce. That's all that is. People working together and we get volunteers like we've never had before. You know how many people be friends of the park all of a sudden? Come on. We love friends of the park. So I like Hilo people know we're going to fix that skate park. We're going to put money into that skate park because there's different forms of recreation because we need recreation. Public safety, important, true story. But kids got to get out of their house. Okay? We got to fix that gym at Koananakoa in Keukaha. We're working with Oha on that and Chris Todd on that. That's a big chunk of change. We cannot do it all, but we can partner. right? We're fixing the lights in Pahala. We already fixed the lights in Kohala. Why not Pahala? They rhyme. No, just okay. Multi-purpose play courts. Recreation. A lot of these things is just surfacing. Just surface, resurface. We're going to resurface 7 parks. Resurface them. Make them look nice. We was down Middle E. We're going to not just resurface the park, we're going to do them all over again. Promises made to the Hawaiians that down there has been too long that the promise is unfulfilled. So we're going to fix their park. We're going to fix their bathrooms. We're going to give them a playground. And we're going to give them a brand new pavilion because they deserve it. Thank you. And of course, I'm always looking for places to make better. And we have an awesome team, and they bring ideas to us. But they always ask, how are we going to sustain our economy then? Well, I can tell you real quick, here's our 5 pillars. So just pretend you're in tourists, because tourism is the biggest economic driver. But we know we got to look elsewhere, right? So we get alternative energy options. Okay, we can generate revenue there, right? We can look at ag and generate revenues there. Okay, we can generate revenues from TMT. We build that baby on that mountain. Some got to come back to the county. Okay, hey, Puakalo, you extend your lease. Some got to come back to the county. Okay, yeah, you can give some to the state because, but we can share. We can share. So we got to look for additional revenues. But since tourism is the biggest economic driver, let's make sure that we don't break that bridge. So how are we going to sustain that? Well, pretend you're a tourist. Close your eyes, you're on the plane. Well, first you got to get on the plane, so you're making your reservations, but no more direct flights to Hilo. You got to go Honolulu. And if you're a Japanese tourist, no more direct flights either now. Not to Hilo and not to Kona, because the runway is too short. Okay? Or, right? Because they got to fix it. And now it's too short, so now they got to fix it. So I'm like, fix it. Please, state, fix it. Because that's how it all starts. People got to land. That's car, Okay, you got to land the plane. But then they land. Where they going to go? So they land. Hilo, where they go? Can I go Banyan Drive? No more hotels. Okay? Where they going to go? So we need a hotel. We got to invest. Right? But then if they find one hotel need workers. Our workforce. So we need our workforce. But we know it's hard to have a workforce because our workforce need housing. But housing is too expensive. So what we need then? Well, we need construction workers, right? We need to get the permits out. So we need good permitting. Okay, so we need that, right? So it's all connected. And once we have good permitting, then we can tell our construction industry to go. Not scared, go get them. Build those houses. Yes, we have a supply problem. Give us more houses, okay? But it all starts here. It's all connected. That's why we all got to work together. And above and beyond that, we also got to stay healthy, because health is everything and health is everywhere. And I've been trying to stay healthy. This is all muscle. It's all muscle. I'm just saying, it's very difficult to push this out every day. Just push it out. Okay? We're working on it. But health is everything. And it is true. I tell my directors, family first. Well, your health is first and your family is right up there. So we're all engaging in good health. And let us continue to engage in good health. Let us continue to foster this camaraderie that we have between districts. Because I believe we're not divided by our districts. We're actually united by our love for each district and our love for each other. And that's how I look at this island. I look at this island as just one big, huge family. Right? Everybody matter to me and to our team. And so we're working as if you are a brother and sister, as if you are grandma and grandpa, as if you're a cousin. Everybody related, everybody matter. And that's how we've been treating everybody since day one. And that's been a big, big difference, I think. So let us move forward. Let us be positive. Here's a quote that I use to set me straight. The past is over for all of us, and the future is promised to none of us. So what do we get then? All we get is today. Today is all we get. When you talk about life, life to me is today. Today is life. We don't know tomorrow. I don't dwell too much in the negative. but I give everything I can give every single day I get up. And I give it 100%. And if we do that every single day, then days come weeks, weeks come months, years come. We'll be in an unbelievable place. But we got to stay healthy, okay? And let me just end with this, the shaka. Some people wonder, how come the double shaka? Well, first, one shaka not enough, okay? In these turbulent times, you got to shaka twice, all right? And our shaka stand for something. That means save Hawaii and keep aloha. And keep aloha, the shaka. So, we're going to be okay. We're going to be all right. We got an awesome team. And like Bob Marley said himself, no worry, everybody, because every little thing's going to be all right. Come on now. Party. Yes, yes. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the day. Aloha.